So let's start, Doug. Just please introduce yourself by sharing your name, your role, the type of practice you're in, and the location, and how long has the practice been in the business?
I'm Doug Towle. I'm the Senior VP of Sales and Business Development at the Pharmacy Hub. We're located here in Miami, Florida, and also in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We have two fulfilling pharmacy locations. We've been in business since 2001, and we've grown from, we're up to almost 400 employees now, and we're the largest telemedicine fulfillment pharmacy in the US.
We're just so blessed to, have virtual assistants working as part of your family, your growing family, which is the largest in the United States. So we would like to understand, Doug, before working with DocVA, what were the challenges or pain points you were experiencing in your practice or in your operations?
It was hard to find someone that could you know, wear multiple hats and be able to, I was in the search for an assistant and, having an assistant here at the office, it wasn't we couldn't find the solution for it until we found the solution with DocVA that seemed to have make life easier for myself and for a lot of the people that report to me directly.
How's the process in terms of recruitment, and what is it that's in your chosen VA now, Shirley? What are her credentials? What were her background? What do you like most about her?
Well, yeah. So, I think I was blessed at finding Charlene because, she seems to, have some pharma background, which was very influential for her to be able to get on board with minimal training. She's always 2 minutes early to every Zoom call. She beats me to every Zoom call. She puts in extra hours and she's been able to learn our HubSpot, our CRM faster than I can. So, she's quick to learn and she's definitely been a valuable asset to the growth of my business and the business for the pharmacy.
We'll definitely have Shirley watch this video testimonials, and she should be very, very happy to see this. How quickly were you able to find a virtual assistant here with DocVA? And in terms of the challenges or pain points that you did mention earlier, how does Shirlene help you address those? And what improvements have you seen or have you noticed since bringing her on in your operations?
Yeah, so when we bring on a new client, there's an onboarding process which is pretty in depth. There's a lot of pieces that go into getting a telemedicine company uploaded and onboarded with the pharmacy hub. So, you know, we've onboarded close to 500 telemedicine companies in the last 4 years. So there's no way, I was tackling this all myself until, we got Charlotte on the team. So, it's like I said, she's been able to put the pieces to the puzzle together. I've been in this industry since the early 90s, and I've never really had an assistant that I felt comfortable with giving my username and password to my emails. So when I'm out of the office or I'm on a cruise with the family, I can feel rest assured that my emails are being answered. It was hard to turn over the keys for the first time. I was kind of reluctant to give that power to somebody besides myself. But now I feel comfortable with showing being able to basically run my business, when I'm offline or not able to get onto a computer. So yeah, very, very, very blessed and I think Charlene was the first VA applicant that we spoke with.
Yes.
I don't remember, but I think we were lucky right off the bat. It wasn't a long, hard process to find what we were looking for, which, was very impressive.
Well, thank you for that. And I remember when I was talking to Charlene, she mentioned to me that you haven't like taken your leave for so many years, and it was the first time that you took your time off.
Yeah, yeah. So, it's like I said, we're building something special here, where we're building something that's it's a legacy company that we have built here. So I have to be here every day, you know, 9 to 5 is, just because I'm not in the office doesn't mean, we're shut down. We actually operate 6 days a week, 24 hours a day. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, to be correct, my first real vacation, and I handed the keys off to Charlene, and I came back and everything was still running smooth.
Wow, that's big. I mean, for you to trust someone, right? Like what you've said, you were initially hesitant. I myself will be quite hesitant as well to have someone access my emails, kind of run the show while I will be away, right? But there's something in her that made you really trust Charlene, right? So tell me more about the functions or responsibility that she has been doing. I know, you did mention about being on Zoom meetings, like she's always ahead of time. What are, the things that she's been doing for you and for the company?
Yes, well, so basically after the initial Zoom call with a potential client, I'm still copied on emails, but Charlene kind of takes over the reins and, deals directly with, either the owner of the telemedicine company, the C-suite executives, all the way down. So, she's very professional. She's able to, communicate with owners of multi-million dollar companies down to someone that's just starting off, in our industry. So, I don't think she's taken a day off either, now that I think about it. So she's right on time, like clockwork. So I think we're both made for each other.
You did mention how grateful, how blessed you are to find Shirley quickly, but it reciprocates as well with her because you've been really a blessing to her, especially to her only child. He has a son that, he has autism and his rate here, like his work here, it's being, well utilized for her son's medication as well. So she's really driven to work with you, not just, for her son, but she just loves what she's doing. That's what she said. That's what she told me.
Yeah, yeah. I see her answering emails after hours, so she's not a 9 to 5er,
Yes.
we're both kind of the same.
The same
We
work
want to,
work
yeah,
ethics, right?
we don't like to leave any, loose ends open.
I remember when I had my first check-in with her on her first 2, 3 weeks, I guess. And she mentioned to me that, she was able like to identify opportunities in the business. Like she would tell me, I think Miss Avi, we could have like a virtual assistant for this particular department so that we can be much more efficient. So I'm not sure if she shared that with you, but she has like eyes. She has vision. She's a visionary leader. She could see the issues, she could see the opportunities and how we could efficiently help. So I think, she's just really a great asset, not just because she's a licensed pharmacist, but over the years, she was able like to really have that kind of, I would say, expertise or experience to be able like to identify issues and find a resolution for that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Why would you recommend DocVA to your colleagues or peers?
To be honest with you, I've never, in my long career, never actually considered or even knew that there was such a service out there. So it seems like we already had relationships with some of your agents prior to myself looking for one. So it seems like the existing VAs that were working with the pharmacy hub were doing such a good job that when it got to the point where I needed some support, our company was like, "Hey, well, we have this opportunity with this company, DocVA. Maybe we could find somebody for you." So yeah, yeah, it's a great company. It's very skilled operators, and it's definitely increased my volume, my output, and the success of bringing on hundreds of new telemedicine clients a lot smoother and more successfully than when I was doing it all on my own.
Wonderful. And knowing you, Doug, and you are the SVP, one of the high-ranking leaders in Pharmacy Hub, like to trust, Charlene with this huge task. It's a huge blessing, and it's an honor for us here with A to have you doing this testimonial and for just being so gracious and generous to Charlene. So now one last question for you, Doug. How would you address those providers or, practice owners who are on the fence of hiring a VA?
I think, believe it or not, because I'm doing probably 30 to 40 Google Meet or Zoom calls weekly with new potential clients. And I can't count the number of times people were saying, you know, because when when we started speaking and I introduced Charlene as my assistant, and then if they ask, she's in the Philippines, and then I get a lot of requests. So how did you find her? Or, how can we find someone like that? Yeah, her professionalism and quick to follow up has led to some interest, with my either clients that came on board or didn't make it and just weren't a fit. But she's representing the company very well on every single, Zoom or Google Meet call that we have scheduled each week.
And because she told me that she has a very cool and great boss. That's what she told me. So, yes, she said you're the best
That's
boss. That's not like, it's really from her heart. She's been working for so many years in the pharmaceutical industry and in the call center industry as well, but she told me she never had a boss like you. So you really
Yeah,
take
well,
care of Charlene.
yeah, well, I try not to wear the boss hat. I try and,
Yeah.
wear wear a partner hat, because, you know, uh, wearing that boss hat that doesn't mean you're not equal or,
Yes.
you know, need to, work equally with everybody. So, yeah, I consider her a partner more than, assistant.
That alone, we were very, very grateful and blessed to have you, Doug. And yes, we can't wait for you and the team to start hiring more virtual assistants. I know we already have a lot of virtual assistants, but as you grow, that means we need more, more assistants, right? All right.
Yeah, I know we have quite a few. I'm not privy as to how many we have or what departments they're working in, but if they're all working like Charlene, then I'm sure we're going to need more.
Absolutely, yes. Well, I won't take much of your time. Your time is very, very precious. So thank you so much for your presence today, for answering all my questions. And we'll see you next week because I know you're getting weekly check-in emails from us too.
Yeah, that's fine. Keep them coming. I don't mind.
All right, thanks, Dougie. Have a wonderful day ahead. You take care.
Use it. Bye now.
Okay, bye for now.